it's fun to do it all the time. I mean, honestly, the joy comes from watching other guys succeed, right? Seeing Saquon break out down the field, seeing AJ or Smitty catch one of the RPOs and take off. So really, I mean, offensive line, our success comes from watching other people, seeing them score, seeing them hit big plays. So.
Lastly, I know you guys, you kind of referenced it a little bit, but obviously there's been some guys who had to step up in the absence of injuries and things like that. What is it about you guys that allows this line to really do well with whenever somebody comes in? It doesn't seem like you guys lose very much.
Yeah, so from day one, the emphasis in the offensive line room is regardless if you are a starter on that day or not, that you will prepare like a starter, you will practice like a starter, treat everything you do as if you were starting. And that's just the standard that we've set from day one, so that that when a guy goes down or gets hurt and the next guy comes in, you have trust and faith in them. Because offensive line, it takes, all five guys there being on the same page, knowing how that guy beside you is playing and what, his thought process is. So, from day one, that's just kind of the mindset going in, and it helps. You see kind of how it's gone this season with guys going down, getting injured, guys having to step in. So.
All right. Thank you, Landon.
Landon, sorry, a couple more from me.
Need to do the whitewash? The
The whitewash.
Sorry, not whitewash, that's for fences.
Close enough. All good? Well, we heard Coach Sirianni the other day say that this is definitely a running football team. That's how he described this offense. How have you seen that progress so far this season?
Sunday we ran the ball okay. Honestly, looking at numbers, there was efficiency of things. It could have been better. There were some goals we didn't meet in the run game there, looking at it from that perspective. But, overall, kind of like I said last week, it's the little changes that, it might not necessarily be flashy or, be like something you can write an article about. But it's the little stuff that we do in each meeting, in each practice, in each workout, in each walkthrough that, help us to clean things up and get a little better. And I think for us, the run game this past weekend was – it was a good thing that we were able to lean on and win us the game. And at the end of the day, it comes down to whatever we have to do on Sunday to win the game, whether it's running the ball, throwing the ball, a combination of both. But you saw last Sunday that, for us, we had a lot of success running the ball, and that's how we were able to win.
And I know last week you had the great analogy of building this team as like braces, and it doesn't just happen one week. Yeah. But how much better is this football team than you think from week one?
I would say significantly better. And, it's like I said, you may not be able to see it, but, the little steps we've been taking and the little fixes along the way. And the mindset is, we're not done just because, defense played extremely good and then offense had a good run day. There's a lot of things left to clean up and work on. So, again, it's just, fixing those little things day in and day out and keep getting better all year.
What we're doing, what we're getting taught, what we're coached, and working on our double teams. And I think Stout does a great job of just harping on us, making sure we're, working together. It's a 5-wheel drive, he says, and, when you got Saquon behind you, it's a pretty damn good 6-wheel drive, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know it's not all Saquon because you guys are opening the holes, but how much easier is it to run block knowing that guy's right behind you?
Yeah, if you just, drive and push and get a little bit of a hole for him, he can, make a guy miss. And, as long as you're doing your job, he's going to make you look a lot better.
You guys have had to deal with the injuries like everybody does during the season, and guys are coming in that didn't start at the beginning of the year. But it doesn't seem like you guys lose much of a beat. What is it about the guys that come in that allows you guys to still be such a successful line?
Yeah, I think, honestly, a lot of credit goes to Stout on that aspect just because he treats everybody the same. If you're the last guy in the room, you're still getting coached just as hard as the starters, and so everybody's preparing the same way.
All right.
And Cam, just the other day, Nick Sirianni, he was on WIP and he described this offense as a running football team and was excited to talk about it. How do you see this running game growing maybe from week one?
Yeah, just a lot more motions and getting more things involved. And, when the running game's going, it opens up a lot of other things that you can do. So there's a lot of stuff we can do with it.
And you go back, Landon Dickerson had a great analogy for us the other day that this offense is like braces. It doesn't just get better and look like great teeth in 1 week. How much better is this football team and this offense from week one, would you say?
I think it's just staying true to what we are and who we are and how we can get better. what was that analogy again? Braces? So
Yes, you said braces.
Slowly but surely, your teeth are getting better. Well, slowly but surely, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and doing it over and over again and working on your double teams and your combo blocks, and you're eventually going to get better at it.
A third down offense, what needs to be better?
Third down offense. I think a lot of it goes on our first, second down. Make sure we're putting ourselves in good positions and so we're not getting those third and longs. I think that's a big deal, and make sure everything's efficient going into our third downs.
Ken, what do you see from Cincinnati's defense?
They got a really good veteran D line. I think everybody across the four they're year 7, 8. So there's some veteran guys and they run well. So it's a good squad.
Well, Nick Sirianni the other day was passionate about describing this offense as a running football team. How have you seen this running game progress since week 1?
This team had been progressing real good. Saquon doing his thing, and me coming in, backing them up, doing everything I had to do, and getting the ball on the ground, putting in those 200 yards we did last week. So we're just gonna try to keep doing what we're doing and backing each other up.
And how have you seen this offensive line maybe progress? They told me it's slow and steady at times. It's not pretty, but they feel good about their progression.
Yeah, it's definitely not pretty, but at the same time, those guys is tough, and they doing what they have to do up front, and they giving us, the ball, and we go attack and do what we have to do.
And so much was made of Saquon Barkley last week in the storylines. To see him be able to handle the pressure and perform the way he did, what kind of example does that set for you?
It set a big example. That's something I want to achieve one day, and I'm waiting on that. Being patient, but at the same time, Saquon doing his thing, and we so happy for him around here, and we happy to have him here. I'm happy for him to be in the room for me, and to show he doing his thing.
What did it mean to you to see that clip? I'm sure you saw of him.
I was sitting right beside him.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's right. What was your reaction to it in the moment?
I was like, hey, he getting us a chance. I'm going to go do what I got to do for these next couple of plays and get Will in there, and we're going to do what we had to do. But it was very inspirational, and, that's something that a leader would do. Every leader does the same thing. It's a selfless moment, and that's just what you do.
What do you make of VanSumeren?
Oh, man, I love Ben. I'm so happy to have Ben, but at the same time, the tight ends do the same thing. But we all doing it, and we pushing to get more plays and get more explosive plays and continue to win.
Playing ball, so feels natural to me. I don't feel like there's really any rust I needed to knock off or anything like that when I got introduced to it. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with it.
When did you sort of know that was going to be installed and this often? What was that process like?
I started around the end of training camp. So I've been introduced to it, and they worked me into it. So it just progressively gotten a little bit more and more every single week.
Whose idea was it?
The staff. Yeah, the staff.
How did you accept it at first?
I'm cool with it. I'm super willing to do whatever it takes with this team. So yeah, I really enjoy doing it, and I'll do whatever the team really asks.
During a course of a game week prep, how do you are you in offensive meetings? How does that kind of work?
I'm in defensive meetings, and then for walkthroughs and stuff, I'll go with the offense. So it'll be a little bit of both.
So you don't have extra meeting duty.
No, I do.
You do? Okay.
I do. It's a little bit, it's a little bit of work throughout the week, especially game weeks get busy. So, but I stay busy with it. But like I said, I enjoy it, and I'm willing to do it. So
you kind of run it in between rooms?
It depends on what we're doing and what day it is. But I try to get both installs for O and D. They got it set up for me. So my time's a little bit divided each way.
Is it each day, or is it specific one day that you have?
It's each day's a little bit different. So it hasn't really been consistent every day. It's just a matter of how much material they got to get me. So
has there been any advice thrown your way, like any other players, or
advice
tapes or something?
I mean, the coaches coach me up. Yeah, there's advice. Both ways, offensively, defensively, and I get that all the time. It's not just something that started recently. So yeah, I get advice.
Does this make you want to run a route?
Run a route? Yeah, I was a route runner when I was younger. So yeah, and there's we got routes and there's a bunch of stuff. So I think we'll eventually get to that.
Kellen referenced your background in offense. High school, I think you had close to 3,000 yards receiving. What was Did you ever think that was going to be part of your game, even going into Michigan State?
Going into Michigan State now, I made the move at Michigan State to go to defense.
Right.
So I didn't really expect it necessarily, but like I said, I played receiver pretty much my whole life up until that point. So it's cool to revisit it. Like I said, I feel natural, I feel instinctual in doing it. So I've been having a lot of fun doing it.
Is it annoying at all to have to report on everything?
That is annoying. Yeah, it's annoying. But I guess it's something we got to do. We talked about maybe changing numbers, but I think it's too deep in the season to do that, from my understanding.
I'm sorry. Who's your favorite fullback?
I like Juszczyk. Yeah, I like Juszczyk. I think the play style is pretty similar.
You have your teammates shout an Offensive Player of the Year your way in this locker room. How have they hyped you up with this transition?
They've all hyped me up, really. Saquon, Dallas, like those guys have all been in my corner. Jay too. They've all had good things to say about it, and they're happy for me to be on the offensive side of the ball.
You let out a couple of big roars after some blocks. I mean, what was just hitting someone?
Yeah, I mean, I play with a lot of energy, regardless what side of the ball. So when you pop a big run like that, I think we creased him a couple times. I got pretty into it for sure.
Luckily, we get to go up against one of the best receiver duos in practice every week, so that helps us. But they present their challenges. Obviously, they've Jamar and Burrow have played together for a while. And then you throw T. Higgins in there. He's another good receiver, big guy. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for us. So we're just going to have to stay focused and prepare, throughout the week for that challenge.
How have things changed for you? I mean, in the last 2 weeks since you played pretty much most of the game, right? Has the game kind of slowed down? Like, do you feel like you're ready?
Yeah, I think it's slowed down. Especially after that first week, those first couple quarters. My first game starting, I started to settle down a little bit. I felt pretty comfortable out there this past weekend. And I'm sure it'll keep building as the season goes on.
Yeah.
Going back to Jason Higgins, who was the toughest receiver you faced in college?
Toughest receiver I faced in college, probably Marvin Harrison. I'd say, yeah. Any of those guys from Jackson Smith and Jigba from Ohio State, those guys.
Yeah,
probably.
They play a lot of slot too, right?
Yeah.
When they were in
Yeah,
there.
so.
What made them so tough to put down?
I think anytime you can put a receiver inside, it just allows them to do a whole lot more. They can go inside, outside. They can run deep balls. So it presents a pretty big challenge for us.
Yeah,
Other than Higgins and Chase, what have you noticed about the Bengals offense?
Yeah, I think their quarterback's pretty good. He's likes to stay on time. He can throw the deep ball, throw over the middle, throw short. So we got to get him off schedule a little bit, get him off his spot. Try to speed him up a little bit. Obviously, he's got a lot of targets. Out there that are pretty good, including their tight ends as well, along with the receivers. So really, just coverage as a whole. We're gonna have to be focused every single snap.
Did Sydney talk to you about tackling Chase this week?
I actually played him in college.
Yeah. That's what he was doing.
So yeah, I've tackled him a couple times, but we haven't talked about it a whole lot.
Yeah.
No.
Well, what makes his game so dangerous?
Yeah, I think he's a strong runner, and he's also pretty agile out in space. So it's going to be something. We're going to have to. Even getting the ball on checkdowns. We're going to have to come down and be able to tackle him.
Can you talk about the advantage of going against two receivers at practice every day? A week
Yeah.
like this, do they say anything to you? Has that happened so far this season where they give you some tips?
Not yet. I mean, this is our first day of preparation, really. So not yet, but we have talked to them in past weeks, about receivers that we're facing and what they think about them and what they see. That's good to have too. Kind of just to get their perspective on it.
Looks like you're having fun on the punt returns.
Yeah.
What do you like better, punt return or defense?
I like them both.
Yeah.
They go hand in hand. And if you can't get a stop, you can't punt return. So first job is getting a stop on defense and going back there and trying to get as much yards as I can for our offense and put them in a good position.
You're hitting the defense on punt return. You're the one getting hit.
Yeah.
I think does that impact the way you play defense at all? You know what you're doing with punt return?
Not really. I don't think. You know, it's different because you got the ball in your hands. You're trying to make people miss rather than, you know, attacking people, trying to tackle them. But no, I don't think it really changes the way I play now.
D-line having so much success lately, 13 sacks the last 2 games. What do you put your finger on as to why?
Like I told you, they come in bunches, man. You know, I just love that everybody just stayed focused, didn't get frustrated when things wasn't going like we wanted it to go early on with the sacks. But, I mean, we'll take the win, but we'll take the win like that too. And I just, like I know all it takes is for somebody to get it started, which it was Sweaty this week, and, you know, everybody else won the piece. And, man, it felt good to get that started.
I was talking to Morrow earlier, and he was talking about how much you push everybody up there. And I heard you just talk to Jalen here as well, trying to push him. How much do you see that as your role, to just help these guys get those sacks? Do you take pride in the fact when you see them get them after you talk to them here this week?
Well, I just do all I can to help, you know, these guys, because they got the torch. Like I told them, like, I done had my time. It's y'all time now. You know, I'm just coming in as needed. You know what I'm saying? As far as I look at it, I'm the knockout punching in. You know what I'm saying? And I just had some fun while I'm out there, but I need them boys to elevate their game. So it takes everybody in the team. As much as you want your individual stuff, that'll come if you do it within the team. And so I know for me, I just want to get them to that level that I know they can be at, and gain that confidence as they go through the season.
Lastly for me, the 6 different guys had the 8 sacks this past week.
Mm-hmm.
What does that say about it's not just one guy getting home? Is that a credit to the fact that maybe the scheme is really starting to take root with you guys?
Well, I mean, you got Vic for his first year. Everybody's starting to see like what it is on how he sees the game and how he want things looking on film, and you know how he want us to play. And I feel like everybody just been working, chipping away on trying to be the best at their position, and it's just coming together nicely. But we got to stay consistent. It's about consistency in this league, as you know. Each and every week, you got to carry out that game plan, and the ones who make the least mistakes usually be the ones who win in the game.
No, I promise you short.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A couple more for you, BG.
Oh, no, that's going to cost you. That's a little
What?
time.
Man, quit playing with me.
I know. How you doing?
I'm great. So you mentioned the new coordinators. I think a lot of time we don't talk enough about how this team has 2 new coordinators. You've played with so many coordinators in your career. How long does it take for that to click in a defense?
Well, you know what? Sometimes, like this year, I'm looking at it like it's clicking now. But usually you get like two years, like where you like, okay, now I played in this scheme last year. Some mistakes you was making this year, you won't make next year, type of thing. But I think that a lot of people coming along pretty good, and it's happening at the right time, because I mean we need everybody to get it this year.
Yeah, and you've been preaching that patience since the beginning. So how hard was that, maybe week 1, 2, 3, to see the end goal that, okay, I know this is going to click eventually?
Well, it was just hard because, you know, you got to hear the noise sometimes, and, you know, you got to go through those rough patches. But I'm just happy that the team stayed focused and didn't buy into, you know, oh, man, they this and that. Because at the end of the day, we got a chance to change it. And we change it by what we do on the field, what we do in practice, how we treat each other in here, going through the meetings and all those little details. But you can't worry about people that ain't a part of this journey with us in here, because they only see what they see on Sunday. But how we change it is how we do it here.
And last one from me. From week 1 to where this team is now, how different is it? How much more improved is this team?
Well, I feel like we have been improving each and every week, and only time will tell. We gotta do it again this week, and we gotta make sure we go out and do it the next week, and then we gotta stay healthy at that. You know, people get opportunities all the time, but hopefully we can build this chemistry and this bond like we've been doing with the same guys, and they just keep getting better every week, and hopefully in the end, you already know, holding that trophy.
PG, thank you.